Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Comey, have you ever heard the expression, power doesn't change people, it just unmasks them?
No, I don't think so.
How's your book coming? How many copies have you sold?
I don't know, a lot. I have a new one coming out in January about the Justice Department. I hope that'll sell a lot too, but I don't know the numbers.
You enjoy attention, don't you, Mr. Comey?
I do not. I enjoy attention from my family. I do not enjoy being recognized in public and my B-list celebrity fame, which I hope will go away very soon.
Well, I'll give you this. You have been an equal opportunity egotist. You have tried to screw both Trump and Clinton. Let's talk about Clinton first. When you were head of the FBI, you investigated Secretary Clinton and her emails and her server, did you not?
An FBI team did while I was director, yes.
And you concluded that there were no criminal violations, did you not?
There were no violations that a reasonable prosecutor would pursue.
But you didn't just issue a statement. You called a press conference. And you commented on her behavior. You said she was extremely careless, but in your opinion, there was no criminal intent. What were you thinking of? I mean, this is the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Didn't you realize that could have an impact on the investigation?
The investigation was ending at that point when I issued the summary of what we had concluded.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Didn't you realize that could have an impact on the election?
Oh, potentially, sure. And I was trying to offer...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was trying to offer transparency about the justification for ending an investigation of intense interest to the American people in July 5th of 2016.
Well, you gave us a full dose of transparency. 11 days before the election, you sent a letter to Congress saying, oh, never mind what I said in my press conference, my unprecedented press conference, I'm going to reopen the investigation, didn't you?
Correct. I didn't say what you just said in the letter, but I told the chairs of the committees we were reopening the investigation to examine some additional material.
And then a few days later, right before the election, you said, never mind. She didn't do anything.
No, I said the examination was completed and it doesn't change our view.
And we're not talking about a parking ticket here. We're talking about the Democratic nominee for President of the United States, the most powerful person in the free world. And you didn't think that would have an impact on the election?
Oh, I knew it could potentially have an impact no matter what we did.
And you don't like attention?
Yes, both of those things are true at the same time. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions and you don't like attention.
Let's talk about Trump. You didn't really care about Dr. Page, did you? You wanted Trump, didn't you?
That is not accurate.
Yeah. When you went and got these warrants to investigate Dr. Page that you don't remember much about, what did that allow you to do? Could you follow him around?
First, I didn't, Senator, go get any warrants. The investigative team and the lawyers from DOJ got offers.
Right. Could you follow him around with the authority from FISA?
No, you didn't need authority from FISA to follow someone around. This was about electronic surveillance.
Oh, so you could wiretap him?
It allowed you to collect electronic communications that he was engaged in.
You can wiretap him?
Yeah, that's the old-fashioned term, but yes, it gave you authority to collect electronic communications. Almost no one uses.
Could you bug him?
I don't think there was authority in the FISA application for a remote listening device.
Could you open his mail?
I don't think that was included either.
But you don't remember?
I don't. It's easy to figure out, but I don't. Sitting here, I don't know.
Okay, that's fair. And you're saying today that that if you knew now what you didn't know then, that you wouldn't have signed the application?
I would not have signed the narrow certification that the FBI director has to give, but more importantly, I'd want to know from the team, how are you thinking about this? Why are these things not being included?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, you're a smart guy. You're honors graduate, William & Mary, Chicago Law School. And you don't like attention. And I'm trying to understand that you're investigating the Republican nominee for President of the United States. Okay, you've already finished with the Democratic nominee.
Yeah,
now it's the Republican nominee, and you got a FISA warrant that was a lie, and you say, well, it wasn't. You're head of the FBI. Didn't you check? Didn't you go, hey guys, this is this is a nominee for President of the United States. Let's sit down and talk about what's your evidence. You never did that?
Senator, we were never investigating the candidate, the Republican candidate, Mr. Trump. This was about a surveillance warrant on someone who was no longer associated with the campaign.
Oh, you just got his name out of the white pages.
Whose name?
And then with General Flynn, you've wrapped up your investigation, but you decide to take one more shot. Sally Yates says you went rogue. Isn't that accurate?
It is not accurate.
Well, why would she say that? She sure didn't compliment you. I was sitting right here, bigger than Dallas. Listen to her. She said you went rogue.
And so you're asking me what she meant by that?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
No, I think she was disappointed that I didn't coordinate the Flynn interview with her in advance, and I understood her concern about that. I think she understood my explanation afterwards as to why I used my authority, which I had, to do it without coordinating.
But you don't like attention.
I stand by my earlier answer. Okay. I love attention from my grandchildren and my children and my wife. Yeah. The rest of it, I could let politicians have it.
Can we agree that the FBI is the premier law enforcement agency in all of human history?
I think so. At risk of offending DEA, I think so.
Mr. Comey, if you'd chosen a different career, say a driving instructor, and you'd never pursued a career at the FBI, don't you think the FBI would be better off?
I didn't pursue a career at the FBI. I was very happily teaching at Columbia when I was asked to become FBI director.
That's enough. So we'll go to our next Senator Blackburn in a minute. Are you aware that Mr. Barnett, who is the lead investigator of the Flynn case, recently said that he did not believe there was a crime involving General Flynn?
I read his 302, and I think it does say that he thought that before January 5th or before Flynn was interviewed.
So how normal is it for the lead investigator to believe that the person he's investigating didn't commit a crime and went so far as to say that he thought the whole team was out to get Trump? Is that a normal thing in the FBI? Is that something the court should consider as to whether or not this is a legitimate prosecution?
I think Mr. Barnett was confusing the nature of the investigation, which is a little bit concerning if he was working on it. It was a counterintelligence investigation, not a criminal investigation.
So here's the point, Mr. Comey. You set Flynn up to get prosecuted. This was a counterintelligence investigation, and there was no there. This man was the incoming national security advisor. He had every reason in the world to be talking to the Russians about changing policy. But this whole rogue thing, setting up an interview in the White House, going around normal procedures, bothered a lot of people. Are you aware that agents felt that the investigation was conducted so poorly that they had to buy liability insurance or thought about buying liability insurance?
I am not, although I thought all FBI agents
Well,
bought liability.
I just want the public to know this was so bad by the people involved, they felt like they needed to buy liability insurance, that the man involved investigating General Flynn didn't believe the man committed a crime, and what they charged him with was giving false information about a contact with the